Thank you all for coming. These events are something we're looking to do more of. I know those that have been to our events in the past know that they're more about content and delivering you guys information that you want to enable you to do bigger and better things in your job. In terms of me and a presentation, promise you've only got 10-15 minutes of me. There's not much I'm going to say to you, to be honest. We ran a survey with the help of Tom at Incisive to their potential advertisers and to run a temperature gauge of what you and your peers are thinking at this particular moment in time, what you thought previously. So the questions we've got in the actual panel debate either come from that survey or from you guys. So in theory, they should match into exactly how you're feeling at the moment. When I do get onto the panel debate, if you want to get involved, just stick up your hand. And I will then invite you in to ask a question or be involved with anything that's going on. We do have some luminaries here from the world of tech media. They're all legends in their own tea times. They're both, all of them have experience above and beyond most people's, and not that much hair, guys. Promise you won't sell to you much. Let's just give you a bit of info on us. And I know what you're thinking when you're looking at that slide. I know you're thinking James and Mirza do not look old enough to have set up a business in 1997, but I promise you it's true, and actually Karen Oracle were one of our first clients. And I know the 150 years tech marketing statement only holds water if there isn't 150 of us. There isn't, there's 17, so that puts our average experience of a Kingpin employee around 8 or 9 years. And in terms of multidisciplined, I could rewrite that as everything but PR. So I promise you that's about all I'll do on sales. But what I did think when I wrote this deck or put this deck together was actually, if Kingpin were founded in 1980, so 17 years before 97, what would I be talking to you about the revolution of IT media? Well, I'd be probably saying not a lot's happened in the 80s and 90s. A few DVDs have been around, but they're not actually used within B2B media at all. I'd probably mention that Ziff Davis and Dennis have done all right out the PC market, and the only way to really distribute any form of real content or video is from cover mounts on CDs. But ultimately, print media didn't change in 17 years. If I took it 17 years back from that, again, print media hadn't really changed. Home video came in and a few other things, but actually media hasn't been transformed. Fast forward 17 years now, and the way we see it at Kingpin is three massive areas of development within media. Social, multi-screen and big data. We call mobile multi-screen maybe because it's about context. There are many sofa surfers who look at their tablet at night, but it's on a settee in front of a TV screen rather than truly mobile. People use their Xbox, Apple TV, their smart TV to actually access the internet. I can look at a book on my telly. I can hold 10,000 books in my hand now through my Kindle. So these are all big waves. And social, if I start doing something, it's generally slightly unfashionable. If my mum does it, it's gone beyond unfashionable and it's way beyond mainstream. So my mum is now on Facebook. I think she deserves a round of applause for that. Thank you very much, guys. But that does mean it's now well into the mainstream. Social big data growth. This is as close to humour as I get. I could have pulled up lots of stats at the growth of Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter and the like. But I actually thought it was just easier to pull a parody up from Dilbert. The poor soul that's getting their appraisal in the first one is clearly being graded by other things than actually delivering on the day job. And the second one is basically talking about how they're tracking an individual and what they're doing to see if they're suitable for them. We do that all the time now, and we're starting to do that more and more as we track individuals on their buying propensity and where they are within the buying cycle, and we'll discuss that further on down the line. Neil will probably like this slide because it's an IDG mobile survey. Put this one in because it's all about tech content, so just the growth of mobile. Most of these kind of stats you'd have assumed anyway, but it's easier, or you can now target tech buyers at home. You can definitely target them at weekends. and also they're now bringing in BYOD as a reality, right? So I think when Brian Glick mentioned last year, that was one of the top issues facing IT today was BYOD and managing the security around it. So that's it from me as a kind of quick overview there. I'd like to talk you through our survey that we did. Good news, we can all give a cheer. Budgets are up. Yay! The recession is over. Slight downer for you guys. Budgets are up, but the increase, although there is still going to be an increase, the increase on media spend is slightly down, 33% versus 52% saying it's increasing. I guess that's because automation tools, etc., are going to be part of the spend. But lead generation, although it's a broad topic, is going to be hot for you guys in the next 12 months. Greatest marketing challenge, I think we all need to look at each other and go, that's been a hard 12 months. It's all about budget, poor little souls. It's all about acquiring new clients. It's not, we got into marketing surely because we were great artists and had all these wonderful ideas, but if we did, the generation behind us is going to be more like a scientist than a creative, because the data that we're having to pull together to hit our objectives are laid out in front of us. Content creation, I know that's a challenge for most people because they don't have enough of it. This was an open-ended question, by the way, so we pulled in these into group responses. Lead generation is going to be big for you next year, but I think we've all breathed a huge sigh of relief here. Kind of feels like the football fan at the beginning of the football season, because I don't think content creation is going to be that low in terms of a priority for the next 12 months. However, I think at the minute we're all looking, we've got bigger ideas, we're all fresh, we're all thinking the new year brings new challenges and we can really put our creative standpoint on it. 3 activities that people were focusing on, social presence, online advertising and shows. The interesting thing for me is where lead generation starts coming in, so your shows, your partner events, etc., they're more about further down the funnel leads. So we're not so much interested in the likes of, although it is up there, content syndication, etc., we're more interested in about how we can get quality coming through the door. Marketing automation, interestingly, who here has some kind of just a show of hands, who has some kind of marketing automation in play? Okay, interesting. Who thinks it's actually working? That's also interesting. About half. CRM, not a surprise that this is your greatest marketing expense. What I'd be intrigued to know is, and again a show of hands, who actually thinks their CRM is giving them the reporting that they require? 2, 3. And a few waved hands there, Anne, in terms of, I think perhaps. It doesn't shock me. Most of our clients seem to be able to point to sales as being the de facto standard in terms of where all of their revenue comes from, mainly because the last transaction in their CRM is recorded. Last transaction for a sales, generally sales, therefore salespeople whoop and do really well, but marketing don't get the reporting they require. I'm guessing in terms of the importance to you guys, the flexibility of lead format is either down to your KPIs, I need to get these leads into my system by the end of the month, or is down to the pain in the backside of trying to reformat them and get them into your system. Although the next 12 months, what I think we're seeing here is a migration towards automation, nurturing, as I say, further down the funnel leads, and I think here we're beginning to look more towards information-rich leads rather than just somebody who's done one touch. I've put at the bottom, I think one touch demand generation is seen as old hat, and I think it is because you guys don't necessarily own all of those touches, and by the time they've got to you, they've probably gone through a research phase. So these guys are here to actually help you through that research phase and pull out information on who may be looking at you that haven't touched your site. Now this I thought was an interesting one. So again, a show of hands. Who's targeted on revenue delivered or pipeline generation? Okay, so 70% was a fair assumption. I guess if I'd asked that question 10 years ago, you would have been either on a coverage per thousand, low cost of advertising, maybe visitors to websites because that was taken off, but it gives an idea of how the market is revolutionised for the marketing team. How many actually have control as well of that over their sales team? How many actually feel they've got control? An element. Okay. So that's interesting. You're targeted on revenue, but you don't have control on the end point of it. Anyone get frustrated with that? No. Okay. Yeah, you are on telly, but fortunately, I think at the worst they get the back of your head. So it's kind of even better than a crime watch bit where someone comes in and you can't even see what they're saying. So, and that's it. Just as an intro.